Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Buddhang Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Tatiyampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now we are going to observe the 5 precepts. To observe the 5 precepts, please say after me. I observe the precept of abstaining from killing beings. I observe the precept of abstaining from stealing. I observe the precept of abstaining from sexual misconduct. I observe the precept of abstaining from telling lies. I observe the precept of abstaining from taking intoxicating drinks and drugs. I follow these precepts for happiness in this life, for rebirth in heaven, and to realize the Four Noble Truths. In this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's chant together. Ittipiso bhagavatam samma sambuddho vijacharana sampanno sugato lokamito anuttaro purisa dhammasarati Tata Deva Manussanam Buddho Bhagavati. Such indeed is the Blessed One, Arahant Worthy One, supremely enlightened, endowed with knowledge and virtue. Follow the noble path, nor the fearless trainer of persons, teacher of gods and demons, the enlightened teacher, the blessed one. Swabhato Bhagavata Dhammo Sannitthiko Akaliko Ehi Passiko Opanayiko Pachattang Vedittabbo Vinyoiti. Well taught is the Dhamma, visible here and now, timeless, open to all, learned and applied to oneself, understood by the wise, each for himself. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ujjupatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Nyāyapatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sāmiti Patipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Yadidan Chattari Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Pungala Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ahuneyo Ahuneyo Dakhineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttaram Punyam Lokasvati. Bhakti conduct is the order of disciples of the Blessed One. Of upright conduct is the order of disciples of the Blessed One. Of wise conduct is the order of disciples of the Blessed One. Of generous conduct is the order of disciples of the Blessed One. Those 4 pairs of persons, the 8 kinds of individuals, that is the order of disciples of the Blessed One. They are worthy of offering. They are worthy of hospitality. They are worthy of gifts. They are worthy of reverential salutations. An incomparable field of merit for the world. Sad, sad, sad. So we pay homage to the Blessed One, Supremely Enlightened Buddha.
Sadhu,
Sadhu. We pay homage to our teacher, Lokaswamin Wahanse.
sadhu, sadhu.
Shall we first read few verses from the great Arahants, the enlightened beings? We didn't read for a long time, right? So if you like to read more, you can go to suttafriends.org and you can see the 3 dots here, and you click on that, then you go through the menu and you see here verses of enlightened monks. Here, Theragata. These are the original verses of the enlightened monks and nuns. These are the verses of enlightened nuns who lived in the time of the Buddha. So the great human beings who lived and associated with the Buddha about 2,500 years ago. human beings like us, but with special qualities. As we always learn, uh, there is a rapid decline of many abilities in terms of achieving spiritual um, growth. There's a rapid decline. So when we learn this, we can compare the human beings who live today with the human beings who lived 2,500 years ago. There are similarities, also there is a big difference. Similarities is we all experience the suffering of anger, suffering of hatred, suffering of greed, suffering of attachment, and we have same problems. Those human beings and the human beings today, right? Same problems. When we come across these teachings of an enlightened one, our goals become one. Our goal, the present human being's goal, who come across these teachings, is also to overcome suffering, to experience true happiness, to find the root cause of problems, suffering, root cause of anger, root cause of greed, and our goal is to achieve enlightenment, freedom from all suffering. And those human beings who lived at that time, they had the same goal. The human beings who saw the Buddha with their own eyes, conversed the teachings with him, they had the same goal. But the spiritual faculties inside the life were very strong. Remember, we learned about spiritual faculties last Saturday with that sutta, based on that sutta. Spiritual faculties were very strong. Their minds were like very, very good lotuses, ready to bloom as soon as the sun hits them. So when they listen to the truth of this life, sometimes girls and boys, 7 years old, sometimes very young people, princesses, right? Some kings, young kings, their lives transformed. They realize the truth very quickly, achieve the stages of enlightenment very, very quickly. Not all of them, but at least some were there like that, who were able to achieve the stages of enlightenment very, very fast. And then Buddha, so this is actually a simile from the Buddha's teachings. The way Buddha, for the first time when Buddha surveyed the world before he start teaching the Dhamma, this is how Buddha saw the nature of the human mind. Some minds are like the lotuses that are in the water, inside the water. They have not come to the surface or standing above the water. They are still under the water. So the sun rises every day. Does any change happen to those lotuses that are under the water? No. But they are gradually coming out, right? And one day they should receive the sunlight. So there is a difference. between the lotuses that are already above the water and the lotuses inside the water. So these are verses of enlightened monks who um, listen to the teachings of the Buddha, who follow the Noble Eightfold Path, achieved the stages of enlightenment, and finally achieved the full enlightenment, arahantship, liberation, and found the solution for their problems. Escape from all sufferings. All these arahants, they are the real arahants, right? So which arahant do you select today? Okay, we can read together. Sadhu, sadhu. When the fault is covered, the defilements fall. When the fault is disclosed, the defilements drain away. Therefore, one should be open without covering one's faults. As a result, defilements won't overflow and will drain away. All beings in this world are attacked by death, surrounded by aging. The dart of craving has been shot into them, and it smokes because of the things they desire. All beings in the world are attacked by death and surrounded by aging. They are beaten continuously, helplessly, like a thief who has received his punishment. Death, diseases, and old age approach a person like huge fires from a volcano. There is no strength to fight against them. There is no speed to run away. One should not make one's day unproductive, whether by a little or by much. Every night that is passed, his lifespan becomes shorter. The last night can approach you at any time, whether you are walking, standing, sitting, or lying down. Therefore, there is no time for you to be heedless. These verses were said by Arahant Sirimani. So that is one of the great Arahants who used these words of wisdom to reflect the true nature of this life and not to waste the time to achieve the results of this path. As a result, he later became an Arahant. So like that. This is another very young monk, and that monk explains how he used in his real life. He shared his real life story, how he contemplated the teachings of the Buddha and follow the right path. So let's read. This is a different enlightened monk. That woman
was beautifully dressed, decorated with ornaments, with flowers on.
her feet were colored with red paint. She was wearing wooden slippers. She was a prostitute. She took off her slippers and stood before me, worshipping me with her joined palms. With a soft and sweet voice, this is what she said. So where did this happen? In India. Okay. So they were all lived in India, right? Those great arahants at that time in the Buddha. Now who is talking? The prostitute to the monk, right? Even though you work all day, you are still very young. Listen to me. Enjoy human sensual pleasures. I will give you all comforts. Because she is very rich. So she has lots of money. That's why she says that, right? She can give everything. She continues. I promise you truly, I will even bring fire by which to swear my commitment to you. When we reach old age, supported by walking sticks, let's go and only this way we will win both goals. How do you think about that suggestion? Huh? Would that work? It will be too late. Okay. Now the monk. Now he's using these powerful teachings of the Buddha not to get distracted, right? And this is called Yoniso Manasikara, wise consideration. When we learn the teachings of the Buddha, so the teachings are external. A Kalyanamitta, a noble friend, would teach you the Dhamma. So the Kalyanamitta, that noble friend or the spiritual friend, is an external person. So he shares you the Buddha's teachings, shares you what the Buddha taught, and those words come to your ears. So it's still external. In order for our life, in order for a change to happen in our life, the internal factor should activate it. What is that? Yoniso Manasikara, wise consideration. Thinking in line with the teachings, Dhamma. Thinking in line with what we learn from the Buddha's teachings. That should happen internally. That is the most difficult part. So now you can see how it is happening inside this monk. When I saw that prostitute, beautifully dressed and decorated with ornaments, pleading with me, worshipping me with joined hands, it occurred to me that it was like a trap set by Mars. Think about the wise consideration. He realized as soon as he saw her, this is a distraction. Based on this incident, wise consideration arose in me. The danger of sensual pleasures was clear to me. Disenchantment with life was established in me. So here, wise consideration. When we consider wisely, we examine life and the world according to the Supreme Buddha's teachings. Remember, we learned that? So that's wise consideration, and that arose in him. Disenchantment, this is the opposite of enchantment or enjoyment or attachment, right? So normally, the opposite happens to an ordinary person because the ordinary person reflects on the gratification of things, gratification of the visual objects, of the body, of anything, right? So as a result, the craving arises, attachment arises, the bond arises. But now it's because of unwise consideration, unwise reflection, right? But in this case, the monk using wise consideration, as a result, disenchantment, thoughts of renunciation, thoughts of letting go, these kind of wise thoughts entering his mind. So disenchantment with life was established in his mind. That's the meaning. So he realized, even though this seems like entertaining or there is some pleasure in this, temporary happiness, but the truth is there is lots of suffering behind this, lots of suffering, lots of despair, lots of stress would follow along with this thought of lust, thought of craving, thought of attachment. That was his wisdom. So he was able to see that. That part is hidden. That's why many people they get stuck, they misunderstand, and then they fall into big trouble when they realize it's too late. That's the nature of all sense pleasures, not only visual objects. The sense pleasures connected with visual objects, sense pleasures connected with sounds, odors, tastes, tangibles, with all sense pleasures. That's because of not understanding the true nature, many people later regret. They suffer immensely. Think about how many people are in jails today around the world. How many people are suffering? Many people who live in jails. They are because they didn't see the disenchantment. They didn't understand the disenchantment of sense pleasures. They couldn't control their defilements. They couldn't control their craving, their attachment. So Buddha had this limitless compassion. Buddha gave solution to the root cause so that wise people can understand how this mind works. Not only they can avoid jails, they can avoid through this, they can avoid rebirth in miserable planes like hell, animal world, ghost world, or any other miserable rebirth, they can avoid. They can avoid rebirth in this entire journey of samsara. They can escape from it.
Okay, also this lesson, this trap that I marked, this story, it happened in real life with a lot of families.
Yeah, possible.
Hmm?
Possible.
Yeah, and it also affects the kids and generation to come when this type of
Yeah, it generates pain in pain in many lives. But who will understand it? That this is a trap, right? Sometimes when we understand, it's too late. Many people have been harmed. That's why we need the teachings of an enlightened one, so we can see deeper into things in life and secure our happiness, secure others' happiness. So now the monk is reflecting on this same incident. He uses this one incident to understand the bigger picture of life. So he applies this one incident to the entire samsaric journey. Oh, this is how we are trapped. This is how we travel in this journey. Things come to our life in the guise of happiness, in the guise of permanence, in the guise of self, in the guise of attractiveness. But there are more things that we should comprehend in this life. We should be wise enough to understand the true picture. So now he's using the teachings. Okay, let's continue. Based on this same incident, my mind was liberated from all defilements. See the excellence of this Dhamma. I too attained the triple knowledge. The Buddha's path has been fully followed by me. These verses were said by Arhat Sundara Samudra. Sadhu. So the Arhats praise the Dhamma, right? Because Dhamma made that change in his life. So like that, you can read about their like real life stories, and that give inspiration. And also, you can read the woman who followed the path and how they realized the truth in the Therigata, right? So it's like that. So we go to our main sutta. Does anybody have any questions from the previous discourse? So Buddha was teaching this Dhamma, saying that there are four ways of practice. First one, remember? Dukkha Paṭipadā, Dukkha Paṭipadā, Danda Binya. The practice is painful. The realization is slow. Okay, we learned about this in details. Why is the practice painful? So now we are talking about the people who came across these teachings and started following the path to end suffering. And they are categorized into four categories. The first category is that some of these practitioners by nature have lots of defilements in the mind. Even though they want to end suffering, even though they want to overcome defilements, it's not easy because these defilements keep bothering them. What are the defilements? Like anger, lust, craving, delusion, right? Doubt. Those defilements keep bothering them. But the lesson here is you should still not give up this path because this path is so strong that even those people with strong defilements can attain stages of enlightenment. And that's this discourse is about. Their realization is slow, and we learned why. Reason. These five powers of a trainee. What are they? Faith. What is in Pali? Saddha. Saddha. Saddha means faith or confidence in the teachings of the Buddha, in the enlightenment of the Buddha. And the second power of a trainee is Hiri. Hiri. Fear of wrongdoing, right? Shame. Shame of wrongdoing. Shame of wrongdoing. These are the things that we should bring newly to our life. And then Paṭipadā, that is fear of wrongdoing. When somebody follows this spiritual path, these things will gradually get established in the life. That's how you know you progress in the path. Paṭipadā, virya. Virya means energy to abandon unwholesome qualities and to develop wholesome qualities, right? Yeah. Energy. Not physical energy here, right? It's mental. Virya. Wisdom. Panya. Wisdom is understanding the true nature of this life, right? Realizing the truth. These 5 powers of a trainee manifest in them, right? These practitioners rely on these 5 powers of a training: faith, shame on wrongdoing, fear of wrongdoing, energy, realizing the truth. Okay, they don't give up these. That's the meaning. But the realization happens very slowly. They realize the truth of life very slowly. Why? It's because of this. There are other 5 faculties. These 5 faculties manifest in these practitioners weakly, right? They are very weak because they come from past lives practice. So they have to work hard in this life. What is that? Faith, energy, mindfulness, concentration, like meditation, and wisdom. So these spiritual faculties are very weak.
Okay.
Hmm.
Both the lists contain 3 items in common.
Same meaning. Same meaning. But these are called this when they are in this set, the Buddha calls them 5 faculties. When they are in this set, Buddha categorizes them as 5 powers of a training.
So if you take faith as an example, they have some faith, but not enough. Is that what it means?
Yeah, they have some faith. It's increasing, but it's weak. But still, it's a very, very big achievement. Because they are all these 4 people, the practitioners in these 4 groups, 4 practices are in the path. They are not outside the path. Because of this, the manifestation of these 5 faculties, they are not in an ordinary person. Because somebody asked the Buddha one time about these 5 faculties. If somebody doesn't have any of these, are they the practitioners, are they followers? Buddha said, if somebody doesn't have any degree of these faculties, they are completely outside the practice, outside the path. So this is also a big achievement. And then the solution for these people, because they have lots of defilements by nature, Buddha taught them 5 types of contemplations. Remember? Asubhanupassi kaya viharati, that is the first one. Contemplation on the impure nature of the body. And then ahare patikula sanyi, the repulsiveness of the body, repulsiveness of food. Sabbaloke anabhirata sanyi, the contemplation on the state of all realms of rebirth, right? Or all conditioned things. And then sabba sankares anicca anupassi, contemplation on the impermanence of all conditioned things. The meditation, vipassana meditation we practiced in the beginning of this program falls under this contemplation. Only one type of meditation that falls into this, that contemplation on the impermanence of feelings. So that falls under this. Also, the next one is marana sanya. The perception on death is well established. Do you remember the verses of the first Arahant monk? How he was thinking about practicing the perception of death, thinking that this life could end any time. When days passes, this lifespan is leaving you.
Whether it's the last night.
Yeah, that's how they develop this, because they listen to the same teaching that we are listening now, and they apply the teachings to their own life. So today we're going to learn about the second practice. What is the second practice? Dukkha Paṭipadā Kippa Bhinya. So the practice is, okay, we learn why practice is painful, because even though they are making this effort to follow this path, still those defilements bother them. So they need to make a strong effort because these defilements are troubling them. That's why Dukkha Paṭipadā. And the second group of practitioners, their practice is Dukkha Paṭipadā. Practice is painful. Kippa Bhinya. What is the difference? Realization happens very quickly. Think about difference between individuals. What is the reason? What is the reason for if the realization is slow in the previous one? These 5 faculties manifest in them weakly. Faith, energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. They are weak. And now you see the difference. That's why realization is slow. And now in this category, realization is fast. Why? Why?
Because the 5 spiritual fast.
Yeah. These 5 faculties manifest in them strongly. Lots of faith in the enlightenment of the Buddha. When Buddha asked them not to do this, not to kill living beings, not to steal, not to engage in sexual misconduct, not to tell lies, not to take drugs, they take that seriously. It's because of faith. Because they think, oh, enlightenment asks us not to do these things because he saw the danger very clearly of doing it. So that's faith guides them. Faith gives lots of energy. And their faith is strong. And then when they hear the enlightenment teaching them, practice meditation. Don't waste time. Don't keep defilement in the mind. Try to cleanse your mind. And they take that seriously. When anger arises, they don't go after thinking, why did this person do this to me? Why did that person do this to me? Why is that? Why is that? No why questions, no. If you ask why questions, anger will never end. And the people who have strong faith, they understand. If Buddha said, no matter what, anger is unwholesome, remove it from your mind. If they have faith, they understand what is my duty. My duty is to remove anger.
Is that a question of the nature of the person being slow, or is it a question of training?
No, it's a result of the spiritual faculties coming from previous lives.
Oh. So it's inherent in the person.
Yeah. So if somebody trains their mind with these spiritual faculties in this life, they will go to the next life.
We are working on anger, for example, but other people around us get angry at us. How do we?
That is why this training is about.
We don't risk. Yeah.
Now, there are different ways. There are different ways. When you keep learning these teachings, you will realize those different ways how to respond. Like, yes, sometimes silence. You will see when Buddha responds to some of those people who hated the Buddha, Buddha would use silence. Only in some cases. In some cases, Buddha uses teachings, explaining. one person, a Brahmin, high caste person, was accusing the Buddha in his presence to the Buddha. And then Buddha was listening to the whole thing. Buddha has already removed anger from his mind. You can read all these 18,000 discourses. He lived for 45 years after he attained enlightenment. You cannot see a single incident where he got angry. He never used words like kill him, punish him, destroy him. Never. Because he's an enlightened being without anger. So those kind of words don't come. So then after this accusation, this Brahmin, then Buddha asked, Buddha said, okay, Brahmin, do visitors come to your home? Completely, he thought it's unrelevant question coming to him. And he said, yes, visitors come. So do you offer sweets and refreshment for them? He said, yes, we do. And then Buddha asked, what happens if they don't accept it? The sweets and refreshment. Oh, we eat them. If they don't accept. Buddha said, okay, in the same way, all the accusations you sent to me, I don't accept. You take. That was how Buddha tamed that person. Buddha explained him. If somebody gets angry at another person who is angry also, it's called sharing with the other person. Buddha said, I don't like to share. So that means even though the other person gets angry, I don't get angry. So yeah, like that. Sometimes it's through explaining the teachings, right? Sometimes cultivating thoughts of loving kindness. These are different techniques to deal with angry people from the Buddha's life itself. One day, a drunken elephant, a ferocious elephant. You can see the picture here?
Right behind it.
Where?
Behind.
Oh, here. This one, right? Yeah, this one. Was released to kill the Buddha by an enemy. Which enemy? Devadatta, right? A monk, another monk. He was jealous at the Buddha. He wanted to kill the Buddha and become the Buddha.
Yes.
So he was, yeah. So then what Buddha did was, Buddha saw the elephant coming, crushing everything, killing people, destroying trees, buildings and everything. Very violent. What Buddha did was, no fear, no anger, right? Buddha started spreading loving kindness to the elephant. Like we do the loving kindness meditation. May you be well. May you enjoy good health. Right? For the normal mind, those thoughts don't come. If somebody is trying to hurt us, destroy us and jealous, what kind of thoughts come? Why you do so unfair things to me? You're so unfair. Right? I hate you. Right? I'll shoot you. I'll kill you. Those thoughts can come. Completely different. Buddha was radiating thoughts of compassion, thoughts of loving kindness. And the elephant felt that. Elephant felt the compassion, the loving kindness, the forgiveness in the heart of the Buddha. These are natural laws in this world. If you do the same thing to your enemy, the same thing will happen. These are universal truths.
To say something or
from mind, inside.
Just, where kindness thought.
Yeah, you need thoughts.
So you have to say some mantra.
No, it's wise thoughts inside, not a mantra. Mantra is not in Buddhism. Mantra is in other religions. So people can chant mantras without knowing the meaning. But in Buddhism, everything you say has a meaning. And you can ask for the meaning from a wise teacher, spiritual friend. You can learn the teaching and you can think of the meaning while you are reading, chanting, saying. Each and every word has a meaning. But you can chant mantras without knowing any meaning. Right? You can't even find the meaning for some mantras because there is no meaning. Maybe a few words from here and there. But Buddhism is not like that. Everything has a meaning. That's the beauty. Even when we chant Itipiso Bhagava Arahant Samma Sambuddho, there is a meaning. We are chanting the qualities of the Buddha. Right? So what happened to the elephant? The elephant became very humble, innocent, tamed by the Buddha's compassion. That's how you see that Buddha is touching the forehead of the elephant. All the people ran away out of fear. So different techniques. So keep learning, okay? It's not the problem of outside people. See, Buddha lived among the people who hated him, who tried to kill him, who tried to destroy him, without having those evil thoughts for them. That is the goal that we are like to achieve one day in our life. Otherwise, complaining to the others, complaining to this world will never end. Right? Never end. It's changing the life upside down, right? We stop complaining about others and we are working inwardly. That's effective. That's productive. The complaining will never end. It will not succeed. It will not resolve our problems. We should try to change inside. Huh? That's the goal, right? The goal.
Okay, but for our daily life, for our working lives, we have to deal with people, rude people every day. And so for example, talking to a student who's just being rude and not being respectful to, their counselor. I think it's important to draw the line sometimes by saying, I will not speak to you if you continue this conversation like this and be rude. And just cut it.
But still with compassion.
With compassion, yes.
Not with hatred.
Not with hatred, no.
Yeah.
But it's just
You can draw any line without hatred. Yeah. That's important. If we try to draw lines based on hatred, it's harming us, it's harming them.
And it's not teaching, it's like they will pick up on your anger too, and they'll get more angry,
Yeah.
and it just like
Yeah. Yeah, gets worse. So, but it's not easy to draw lines without hatred. You agree? It's even for parents towards their own kids. It's a challenge. But if we can control hatred and anger when we make decisions, when we draw lines between us and them, if we can work hard to still maintain compassion, they have long-term benefits. Yeah, because anger is harming us, harming others. So this is the second group of people, and same type of contemplations are taught to them. They should be practicing the same types of contemplations we learned in the first one, right? So we go to the third practice. What is the third one?
My son practice with slow insight.
Right. Sukha Paṭipadā. Sukha Paṭipadā means their practice is pleasant, happy, blissful. Reason? By nature, they have less defilements in the mind. You see those kind of people living among us. Like, even though others are unfair to them, even though others hate them, they still can smile. Do you see those kind of people? And sometimes we see, oh, they are so lucky. They are truly lucky because they have practiced thoughts of loving kindness, thoughts of patience, thoughts of forgiveness for a long time in their past lives. And now they are experiencing the result of it. That's why they can bear others' words, criticism, insulting. They can bear. They don't take them seriously, and they can forgive people easily. So they live peacefully. If you like to experience that kind of peace, practice these good qualities in this life, and for the late part of your this life, and also in future lives, you will experience that peace. We are responsible for our peace or pain, not others, right? So these people who are categorized in this third category, their practice is pleasant, peaceful, because they are not suffering due to major defilements. They have defilements, okay? They are not devoid of defilements. They have defilements. They have not uprooted the roots of the cause of anger, cause of hatred. They are there, but not strong, right? So what happens, Buddha teaches, when they try to follow this path, they can practice mindfulness easily. They can practice meditation easily. They can attain jhanas very fast. They are lucky, right? Sometimes you can see those kind of stories in that Sutta Friends. If you go to, so this is Sutta Friends, and yeah, I'll just show you how to find. If you go to Sutta Friends, here on the three dots, and then you go to Vimanamatu, stories of heavenly mansions, means the human beings who lived like us but developed difficult qualities, like difficult to develop these good qualities, but they managed to develop and were born in happier destinations. Okay, these are called stories of heavenly mansions. They became gods and goddesses, right? When we develop more wholesome qualities, noble thoughts, the natural law in this world that the good karma takes us to happier realms. That's the natural law in this world. So you can see some wives, now they are goddesses. They explain, even though my husband was so angry, I still loved him. I still practice patience. I never said an angry word against him. And they explain, that is how I practice the path. See? Huh?
I'm going to have that.
Going to do what? Hell? No. You can change. You can change. You can change. This dumb is to change. Yeah. So that's an example how they practice. No, maybe she's that's an example. Maybe she's in that category. Practice is pleasant. Even though others hate her, mean to her, still nothing happens to her mind, like no anger. That means she is in peace. She lives peacefully. Others cannot make her angry because she's not losing patience. So her inner qualities ensure her peace. We think it's the husband's problem. If it is husband's problem, then this what you have to say about this lady. She was not living in pain. She was not complaining. She was happy. She was
always inside. Right?
always inside. Yeah, she knew that. Okay, so we go back.
A question.
Please ask.
Like, as a lay person, is it more difficult, right? If you become, let's say, live in a forest, or you become a monk or nun, is it easier to get rid of the defilement? Because as a lay person, we have a lot left, right, top, at your work, right?
Maybe.
Even driving, I know sometimes people honk at you, okay, just whatever you do. But you have to be very mindful. As a monk or nun, you have less people who push your button.
Depending.
Mostly.
Less temptation.
Just by becoming a monk, you cannot remove defilement from your mind. One day Buddha said, if you can do that, then the best thing for the people to do is as soon as a baby is born, get a robe, get a place of robe, wrap around. Buddha said like that.
You have a will in you, right? If you have a will in you, you try so hard. Like 10 times you try, you fail 2 times, right? Because you're still surrounded by lots. I know it's inside, but you still not like 100% can, control your being mindful. So in 10%, you fail 2 times. You're angry 2 times instead of 10 times, 10 times.
Yeah.
So if you go to seclusion line, right? Is it easier?
It's true that there are no people to make you angry in the forest, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the root causes are uprooted. They are still there, they're suppressed.
Easier to take it, no?
But there is,
To remove it.
I don't think so. It's all depends on the practice of the Noble Eightfold Path. Even a lay person living at home, very well established on the path, that lay person is luckier than a monk who is not following the path. Because the monk will end up in hell because of not following the path. The lay person will end up in heaven and attain the rest of the stages of enlightenment. So it's all about the practice. Even a lay person living with this all difficult environment, difficult people, he still can achieve advanced results of the path.
Being mindful and doing meditation will help us.
Definitely, yeah. Because
we are surrounded at home, at work, everywhere by everything. Control that. Like, every minute we're surrounded by
so, okay, one day Buddha was asked that about the lay life and monk life. Buddha said, monk life is like business. Lay life is like farming. Okay. Farming, you have lots of duties to do, lots of tasks. right? You agree? Lots of energy you need, right? Lots of activities going here. If the farming is successful, you get good result, good harvest, good results, right? If the farming is not successful, you lose. Lay life is like that. It is true. There are lots of activities, lots of responsibilities, lots of duties, lots of things happening. But if you do it properly, keeping 5 precepts, controlling anger, being loyal to the husband, loyal to the wife, cherishing children, doing your responsibilities, helping the community, right? You do it right, good result, good harvest, happy life, happy rebirth, stages of enlightenment, everything. Only if you do it properly, even though it has lots of tasks. Now you go to monk life. It's like business. You do everything by phone. Like a businessman. You do everything by phone. Over the phone, you control everything. Not that much work, not that many duties, right? But if it is not successful, you fail. That means monk will end up in hell. You cannot say that there was less duties, so then you achieve stages of enlightenment easier. You cannot say that. If the practice is wrong, the path is wrong, it's like business. If it is unsuccessful, you do it improperly, you fail, you achieve nothing. And on the other hand, if they do the business well, there are no that many activities, but you do it properly. You think about your family, your community, right? And in this case, not family. These monks, they don't, they live the family life, right? So the monk, so the business people, they do things properly, earn money righteously, they can be rich, even though there are less activities for this person. In this, in the same way, monk's life, there are not that many tasks like farming, but if you do it properly, if you follow the precepts, follow the Buddha's path, they can achieve higher results. Remember, so farming, business. You cannot say farming is always bad, business is always good. You cannot say that. Or you cannot say business is always bad, farming is always good. You cannot say that. Depends on how you do things, right? Is that a good simile?
Yeah.
Because in that time in India, some Brahmins groups, their belief was lay life is better than the monk life. In the Subha Sutta, in the Digha Nikaya, this Brahmin Subha comes up to the Buddha and he says, this is how Brahmins teach us. In his scriptures also, we see that in the lay life, they have lots of duties, they do lots of things, community services, take care of families, lots of things. So they are the ones who have successful lives. Monks seclude inside a forest, inside a cave,
But I think the comparison
right?
it's not very good. In business, you have a lot of manipulation, you have a lot of future planning, and so on. You're not in the here and now all the
Now
time.
this is about 2,500 years ago. No internet, no websites, nothing, right? So definitely less activities, right? But even with less activities, like think about a banker. He can become a millionaire, right? Very less effort. That's like the simile. So, and then what did I say? The Brahmin. Yeah, their belief was monk life is futile. It's not useful. It's not It's not efficient.
But as a lay person, there are more challenges. And you can.
Yeah, that's why Buddha used the farming.
That's right.
Lots of challenge, war, weather problems.
But not only that, because if somebody keep provoking you, you have a chance to train yourself and not to react.
You
But
think?
if you're in the forest, there's nobody to provoke you really.
That's right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Don't go to forest, okay? Don't go to forest, live always in the house. Right? Is that the message you want to give? So, no. It's basically, definitely environment supports you, right? Because as monks, we live with these companions. They have the same mindset, same goal, and definitely they help you. Like in the lay life, for example, you want to do something evil, you can find many friends who support you. Right? But in the monk life, if a monk tries to do even a small wrongdoing, difficult to do. Because you have the fellow monks will say, no, this is wrong. Don't do it. This is wrong. But in lay life, it's difficult. It depends on the environment. Definitely environment helps you, but that doesn't mean that environment does everything. Doesn't mean it's the practice.
Because Bhante, part of it too is that with the defilements, right?
Hmm.
So it may be like the environment you're in that's more provoking. But it's also, you mentioned, I think, I heard you said, it's also not that you're the problem, but if someone is provoking you, it's you that reacts, right? It's coming from
Yeah.
your reaction.
Yeah, otherwise think about the person who is in self-confinement, like in a jail, secluded jail. You think that when that person comes out of jail is a completely cleansed person, no defilements? Because nobody was, like there were no many people around him and he was in a secluded shell. No. It's about walking on the path. So don't, yeah, but definitely there are benefits of, definite benefits of becoming a monk and nun. That is why they become monks and nun, right? Because they like less responsibilities, they like faster results, right? So definitely there are results, but it's still both parties, the monastics and the lay people, should practice the path. Depends on the practice in the end of the day. Okay, so let's finish this discourse. This is the last one. Last one is, so yes, so these, because they have less defilements by nature, they can practice jhanas well. That is why their path is pleasant, right? And then, but the realization is slow, is because those faculties, 5 faculties, yeah, see here, manifest weakly. They are energy, the faith, energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom, in a very weak way, but they also will achieve the results, the stages of enlightenment. And then the last one is the last one. Yeah. Sukha Paṭipadā Kipabhinya. That means their practice is pleasant, happy, blissful. Again, is because they are by nature with less defilements. They don't cling to many things. They don't hate others. They can forgive people easily. Peaceful minds, right? So when they find this path, they can practice very well jhanas, mindfulness, and like that, and they achieve the realization very fast. That means they realize the truth of life very fast. Why? Because these spiritual faculties are very strong, very strong, right? So these are imako bhikkave. Buddha teaches imako bhikkave chatasso patipadati. These are the 4 ways of practice. So monks. Good. Sadhu, sadhu. No one is left behind. Right? Everybody is included. Okay, so let's do the merit sharing. Today we collected lots of merit by going for refuge triple gem, observing precepts, practicing samatha and vipassana meditations, learning the teachings of the Buddha, discussing them, and helping each other in many ways. We shall all the merit first of all with our teacher, Lokaswamin Wahanse. We shall merit with all the monks and nuns in the world. We shall merit with our parents, teachers, family members, and with all beings in this world. May all beings enjoy good health, long life, happiness, and peace.
Also share merit with the
We shall merit with all the heavenly beings as well.
Our Sarabante, we would like to share merit with Bante and ask about it.
Sukhi. Sukhi.
Saya tatang punya Samina Bodhita.
Sadhu sadhu anmodita.
Samina tatang punya Baihang Data.
Sadhu anmodita.
Sadhu Anmodami. Oka Sadhu Arabdena. Katam Sabang.
Kamami kami. Abhivadana silisa niccang vadaha pacayino chattaro dhamma vadanti ayuvanno sukham balam ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjatu. May you be well and happy.
Same to you, Bhante. Thank you very much.
Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya. Namaste.
Thank you, Bhante.
Sukhi.